And 3, 2, and 1. Welcome everybody to the back and forth. We are back. We're back.
We're back.
I am Kevin, and this is
Chanel. Hello, everybody.
All right. She said hello, everybody. Chanel, before we get started this week, I know you're probably going through this right now with your child. You have a young man as a son, and he's growing. And he's probably real typical about he's a real attached to his hair and how he looks and the style and everything. And you have something for us this week. I know you let me know about it, and when you let me know, I'll put it up on the screen. But it had to deal with it could say child exchange when you deal with custody, where the child goes one place and they come back, and they may not look the same anymore when they come back.
Oh, no.
So, Chanel, what do you have for us that relates to that topic?
Yes, absolutely. So I saw this on the socials and the medias and all of the airwaves out there. Kev, if you could put this up, I'm going to read it to y'all, and we're going to talk a little bit about this today. All right, so the mother sends her son over to the father's house for the weekend, and the father decides to have the son's hair cut off without discussing it with the mother. Does he know what's best for his son, or did he go too far and should have discussed it with the mother first? Let's talk about it. So, Kev.
Yes.
You have a lot of wisdom in this area. I know you had one son,
Mm-hmm.
but hair is a big issue with daughters as well. So I know this topic is about sons, but let's talk about the question, did the father go too far, or does the father know best for the son?
Well,
as a dad.
You know my lane. My lane is in coparenting communication. And if you're not communicating with each other, nothing's being said. We're only assuming. And so you assume that when you drop your child off, or they go over to the other parent's house for the weekend, they come back, that they come back looking the same way. Unless something's been said, we've communicated it one way, shape, or form, that I'm going to take so-and-so to get a haircut. Is there anything you like me? Is there any style you want me to get it cut in? Or is there any particular way you want his hair done? That's the simple way. That's easy. That's a phone call. That's a text. That's an email. However you want to do it. I don't care if you think you know what's best for your child. You still need to communicate that with the other parent, especially if that other parent is the one who has custody. You know, you see
that part. You must have been reading my mind. Go ahead.
Especially if the other parent is the one who has custody. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if you like the child's hair or not. Mm-hmm. You can make a phone call and say, "Hey, I don't. This hairstyle is not doing it for me." And if the other parent say, "Well, hey, I respect your opinion, but that's the way it's going to be. We like it that way. He likes it that way, and that's how we're going to leave it." I mean, if you don't like that, don't take him to get his hair cut. Don't do anything to his hair. I'll take care of it when he gets back. Mm-hmm. Simple conversation. You might get your feelings hurt, but oh well. At the end of the day, the child still has their hair. I mean, this situation right here should have never gotten to that point. I don't care if he knew best. Knew best about what? His particular stance on the issue. Maybe he's that person who likes long hair. Maybe dad bald head. He lost his hair when he was younger, and he just got hair jealousy. He's follicle envied. Wow. Yeah, he has follicle envy. And so he doesn't want his child walking around with locks or flowing hair. Yeah. But that's a personal issue. Yeah. You shouldn't do that to her. Look at the child's face. I'm pulling this picture back up. Look at this child's face. And is he smiling? No, he's not smiling. Chanel, go ahead. What you got?
So I'm glad that you brought up the point about primary custody. Or custodial custody. I would say custodial custody. Custodial custody does not mean that you have the only rights to the child. However, you do have the final say on certain things because that child is the day to day is usually with you. Mm-hmm. So And it dropped in my spirit. Like, let's stress that point, because sometimes you send your kids to their father for the summer or to their mother for the summer, and they come back completely different. And it interferes with the day to day that you're going to have going on for the school year. You know, so it's very important that you have these conversations. Number one. Number two, sometimes if it's an issue, because if it's a high conflict situation between the two parents, you may need to put this in your modified child parenting plan order. Hair. Who decides on hair? Who takes the kid to get the haircuts and things like that? Because things like this happen, and then, you know, oh, it was very vague. I felt like I had the right to get my child haircuts and stuff like that, where you're not doing what's in the best interest of the child. You're just doing what's in your best interest.
Yes.
Okay? Because your boys was talking about your child's hair, and now you're trying to satisfy them and not really thinking about the child. Number three, if you are having a discussion over the phone and you do not come to some agreement, make sure that you have some type of text message, something to let the other person know that you made the final decision is this. And if they go against that, you can have something to bring to the court when you are modifying as to why you're bringing this particular issue to the court.
Yeah. And you'd hope it doesn't get this far. For hair.
I've seen some crazy stuff, Kev.
I'm quite sure you have, but I'm gonna say you hope it doesn't get this far, because I mean, you know, there comes a point in time when a child is old enough to make some kind of decisions on their own, and you know, what is it? Right around the 12-year mark, I believe, in some states, you know, where a child can make some decisions like this, where they want to go to the parents' house or whether they don't. But when you're dealing with a child's hair, that's that child's hair. That child has to go to school every day. That child has to go talk to their friends and interact with their counterparts. You don't have to do that as a parent. You just drop them off and keep it moving. You know, so we have to step outside ourselves and stop making this about us. Yeah. Like you said, I don't care. It asked the question. It said, does he know what's best for his son? Or did he go too far? It doesn't matter if he knew what's best. He did go too far. You cut all your son's hair off.
Yeah. So
what's the point we're trying to prove here now?
Right.
What are we trying to prove? So now what happens next time your son says, I don't want to go over to my dad's house? You just ruin the relationship, and you're like, well, and most likely this is what's going to happen, Chanel. Oh, he'll get over it. It'll grow back. Well, try to grow your hair back in your bald head, your patches in your hair, and your little cul-de-sac in your head. Because you can't grow hair. You try to grow hair back then, sir.
Not the cul-de-sac in the head.
I'm just saying, people out here got holes in their naturals, and you know they need to come on home because they need to go ahead and shave the rest of that stuff off. Getting jealous of their children, possibly. We don't know if it could be some follicle envy here. Yeah. But all I'm saying is that you need to have a conversation with your child.
Eat first, yes.
Have a conversation with your child. That young man like he's old enough to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And you're gonna sit him down in the barbershop chair and just cut it off. Give him this nice little just give him even cut. Just give him a little high and tight or a low fade. Just fade in on the side. He'd be good.
He old enough to have feelings, and his feelings are very visible. And one of the things, I will say this, you know, like you mentioned before, my son is 12, and his father and I have communication regarding haircuts and things like that. There's times where, we're like, he's not taking care of it with me. He's not taking care of it with you either. So we're going to cut it off, you know. And then we have this conversation with him, like, this is why we came to this decision, because you're not taking care of it. Okay, I'm going to take care of it. And then we buy him all the products. We got products at your house. We got products at my house. He want to have the nappy head look kind of thing, but I want it tidy still. So, you know, so we're always talking about hair. We're talking about clothes. We're talking about all these things because, first of all, we got to remember our children have their own personality. Yes. And it's not up to us to choose what kind of personality they need to have.
Say that again. Say that again.
It's not up to us to choose what kind of personality they need to have. The personality that God gave them was very specific to their purpose. And for us to take that away and decide what kind of purpose they have based on the personality we want them to have, now you're going to play God, and now God just gonna have to move you out the way. Like He just gonna have to sit you down over there and put you in the belly of the fish because you don't know what you're doing.
Oh, we're talking about Jonah.
Yeah, we're talking about Jonah. That's another Sunday school lesson. But seriously, y'all, you've got to let your children be who God created them to be. It may not be everything that you like. It may not even agree with who you are as a person. It may clash. But guess what? That child may be breaking generational curses that you didn't have the courage to break. Amen?
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Okay? So we've got to let God do what He's going to do through our children. What if Samson's father decided...
I knew you were about to say this. I felt it.
You know, you already felt I was going. It was in my shana. No. You know, if Samson's dad was like, I don't like all this long hair. I mean, why you got him in locks and stuff? I mean, what we doing? Yeah. Samson would not have been able to fulfill his purpose.
Yes.
So we need to be very careful. God has given us a huge responsibility as parents.
Yes.
It's not just about you having the sex and having these kids. That's a huge responsibility with parenting these kids and training them up in the way they should go, because they have a purpose on their life, and hopefully you are cultivating them to fulfill that purpose. Come on, Kev. I can go on and on.
You've hit you've hit all the points and all the marks. I'm just here to clean up, because I mean you've done and said enough. You went hit with your shanana and man. I was done at that point. I'm like, I was done. We started speaking in tongue. I'm like, all right, we go. I mean, the show was moving at that point. I'm like, you went to Samson. I'm like, and a little young man looked like a little young Samson. You just took all his strength. All his strength is gone now. You didn't even know he had it, and it's gone because of the father. The father thought he knew best. This is not what I like, so I'm going to cut it off. Bottom line is this right here. As parents, I said before, we are charged with raising up their children. They look to us for guidance and look to us for protection. But if the two of us as parents, as co-parents, cannot get along and cannot communicate, then these children are going to grow up in an environment where they don't know who to go to. If the parents are going back and forth with each other, hey, it's title of the show. If the parents are going back and forth with one another and they can't get stuff resolved, how do you think the children are going to feel?
Wow.
You end up with a face looking like this little young man's face here because mom and dad couldn't have a conversation to say, okay, well, let's get his hair done this way. Or just not just get his hair done at all. I'll let you do it when it gets back there. And so simple things, simple forms of communication go a long way. You do not have to like the other co-parent. Let me repeat that. You do not have to like the other co-parent, but you do have to get along for your children's sake. So you have to dig deep and find a way to have that conversation, to have that communication to the other parent, to let them know what's going on with your child. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm going to say, Chanel, because that could have resolved this whole mess right here. So,
totally.
Chanel, another great week, another great topic. We went there and we started speaking in tongues, and I didn't see that coming. But if I can say anything that you can understand without speaking in tongues, I'm gonna say hit that like, subscribe, and notification button so you all know when we're putting this fresh and new content out there every week. And Chanel, I'm gonna tell you all to stay safe and be blessed. And Chanel,
I'm gonna tell y'all to put God first. If you don't know what to do, take it to the Lord in prayer. Right? Amen.
Amen. And we out.